Hello and welcome to my fireplace. I hope you're comfortable. Today is the 23rd of December. This means that it's been exactly 1 year to the day since I started working on the project that you're seeing right now. In my last video I already teased that I would be building my own workshop. Right now I'm actually building a proper workshop. 1 year later, it's pretty much done. You're going to watch me build this workshop over the course of a couple of videos. This is not an extensive how-to guide. It's really more of a video diary to take you along for the ride, and maybe there will be a few tips and tricks that you can use for your own projects if you decide to do something like this. I think I should probably get you out of here. Wait. Ah! Jesus. Well, okay. Let's get to a more comfortable place. I'm sitting in the field of victory here. You have no idea how great it is to finally have my own workshop. It's absolutely fantastic. If you have any questions about the build, be sure to put them in the comments below as you watch the video. I will answer them at the end of the next video respectively, so everyone can learn something from this experience. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to say here. I won't spoil everything for you just yet. You'll see everything in due time. Let's get back to December 23rd, 2019, when this project officially kicked off. The first actual day of the project was the 23rd of December in 2019. Instead of the usual Christmas business, my dad and I made quite the drive to pick up this old trailer I found on eBay. Sort of an early Christmas present, I suppose. I was told by the seller that this trailer was custom made to haul fair booths around, and it seemed solid enough. Either way, now it wasn't exactly legal in traffic anymore, which is why we loaded it onto a slightly larger trailer to move it. On Christmas Eve, we moved the trailer with lots of struggling onto our lawn, which proved to be quite tricky because the trailer was wider than the access to the back of our property. But we managed. Now, we've actually been toying with the idea of building a workshop for years now, but only recently have we been seriously considering it. There are many aspects to this, but most importantly, I needed a better space to work in, and my parents needed me out of the garage, because I've been creating unholy amounts of dirt in there. My first order of business with the trailer was to remove these aluminum tier plates, so I could refurbish the trailer itself. Countless rivets had to be drilled out and removed. Now, sadly, the previous owners weren't satisfied with rivets alone, so they threw in some screws as well, for good measure. Screws which now proved themselves to become a mortal enemy of mine. Even double manpower wouldn't make them budge, so I had to be a bit more aggressive. Once I defeated those damn screws, I could remove the plates one by one. These plates will come into play again later as floorboards, so I tried my best to mess them up as little as possible. Now let's take a small break from the trailer as I show you one of the lucky eBay finds that really characterized this project. I found these two enormous used windows dirt cheap on eBay, and I was delighted to see that the offer was from a place really close to my home. Obviously I jumped on the opportunity and we quickly rented a trailer to pick them up. I encourage anyone who plans a project like this to check the local deals like I did, but you really have to be open to change your plans based on the things that you can get your hands on. In this case, we got the windows so early on that I could design the whole workshop around them, which was really lucky. Now let's get back to the trailer and arguably the dirtiest, toughest, most tedious and overall miserable task on the whole project, getting the whole thing ready for a new paint job. To get rid of the rust and flaky paint, the angle grinder wire brush turned out to be my tool of choice. And I also removed some pointless bits of steel for easier painting later on. Additionally, there were some welds missing, which I quickly took care of. Next, I took off the lights and reflectors on the back. Then I welded in some additional support at the spot where I would most likely keep my anvil later on. I had some help from my parents with all of this, but I was mostly on my own, enjoying myself in the wet grass and the dirt. I can't blame him though, it truly was a shit job. This marks the time where terrible weather conditions caused us to go on a little side quest called window making.
Making windows with me and Mom.
With absolutely no prior experience in working with glass, we decided to ease into it slowly by going straight to making a round window. I know, it's a big brain move. I found these large window pieces, but they had some gamer gunk all over them, so we had to clean them up first. Then we started building our circular glass cutting tool because we were too cheap to get one from eBay. First we made the tool arm from some sheet metal. One end was drilled and bent to receive the glass cutter, and the arm part received a series of holes to allow for circles of different diameters. The centerpiece was made from a disc of wood which was drilled in the middle. A fastener in the middle would be the peg which the arm rotates around. To affix the whole contraption to the glass, I melted a bunch of hot glue using a heat gun. I handed it over to my mom to score the line. Once we were satisfied, the heat gun was used again to remove the cutter. We scored some straight lines around the circle to remove the bulk of the material. Those breaks seemed to work out so far, even though they weren't clean yet. If you know anything about glass cutting, this might not come as a surprise to you, but we totally messed it up minutes later. Let's hope it goes well. But later that day we redeemed ourselves again, after my mom remembered a crafting TV show where she saw someone cutting glass. And we made some adjustments to our technique, and voila! We had success on our first round window. A glass necklace.
Oh,
It can probably cut
really dangerous.
cut your throat. That's insane. Look at that.
And look at that.
Amazing. And
That's how you make what we want.
That's how you make a round window. Back at the trailer, my dad gave parts of the main frame a coat of paint. Then we laid out some concrete slabs that would support the structure. Using a hydraulic jack, we leveled out the trailer and used these adjustable supports for all four corners. Each one of these supports was rated for 4 tons, so together they should hold up the entire building without any problem. Yeah, my day is going great. First The brushes on my angle grinder gave out, so I switched to this drill. Just doing my thing, cleaning out these U profiles. When suddenly, I'm just minding my business and a huge torrent of water just empties from this bag and just completely showers me. I think I screamed like a little girl, I'm not sure, but now I'm laying here in tent sauce, just marinating in the cold. Yeah, I'm doing great. Next we tackled those wheels. Even with rust remover we had no chance of removing those bolts without some help. A water pipe for extra leverage worked nicely, but we should have done this before jacking up the trailer because now the wheels were rotating freely. After some struggling we eventually got them all off though. I coated the bolts in rust converter, which gave them this strangely black look. Some treatment with a wire brush improved the finish a bit. There was a whole segment here where I built this tumbler to give the bolts a better finish, but the success was so minimal that I cut it. If you want to see it anyway, let me know, it's kind of funny.
Ooh, jelly.
We coated the rims with paint stripper, which only sorta worked the way we intended it to. Then we scraped off as much of the old paint and rust as possible to prepare for the paint job. After that, they were ready to be installed again. The trailer was given a coat of the same paint as well, which was mostly done by me and my dad. I didn't film it, but it's not that exciting anyway. I still had this piece of log left over from making my anvil stand, so we decided to utilize it for some additional support for the trailer. First we removed some bumps and then the bark. We had to split it in half, so we started out by sawing a notch right through the middle. Using 3 axes and a sledgehammer, we split the log in half, which worked quite nicely. We placed these under the front axle of the trailer, which should add some nice stability. Now it was time for the first major shopping to be done. For now we got ourselves some thin, water-resistant plywood, as well as the wood and insulation for the foundation and walls. These thin sheets were used to cover the trailer and would later be the underside of the tiny house. These don't have to do much besides keeping the insulation in place and also keeping it dry. They were cut to shape and brought in position. Then holes were drilled through the sheets as well as the steel. Pop rivets were used to affix them to the trailer. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourself so far. I know not much has happened yet, but this is also part of the process. Next episode there will be some serious construction though for sure. As I said in the intro, please leave any questions in the comments below. I might not answer them there, but I will answer them in the next video at the end in this segment. My goal here isn't to teach you exactly how to build a tiny house. It's really more to give you inspiration, give you some ideas if you have a similar project going on. I hope this is helpful. I'm probably one of the very few people who can say that they really benefited from Corona. Without the pandemic I would be nowhere near finished. I had so much time in summer because I didn't have to go to university, I just had online classes. So that was incredibly helpful to me. So yeah, thank you Corona. If you want to get updated on this project, why don't you throw me a little subscription? I heard it does wonders for finding videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the project. I should probably stop my rambling. I'll see you in the next episode in a few weeks or months. Bye! Oh shit. Did I break something?